What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your daily news report for Saturday, August 6th. Now, we are getting some good news, and we're seeing a lot of really good news. I want to address what that is, but at the same time, I want to explain how the good news in the United States is being faked. It's false. It's something that's not really there. And I got multiple stories on this, and I want to address this because this is extremely important, and I bet you've seen this yourself. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, because what we're seeing in the US is interesting and it's shocking. But we also have some bad news out of Canada, and this is impacting the United States and the American people. I want to explain what's going on there because I got some stories on that as well. But if any of this stuff seems like it's very close to home, let me know. Put it down in the comment section below if you are seeing these exact same things. And all I ask is if you can spend just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and also feel free to share this video with your friends and family over on Facebook so they too know what's going on. But here's what we know. I want to start off with some good news. Now, this isn't the greatest news, but it's still good news. According to multiple reports and from Hershey's CEO, they actually said a couple weeks ago that they're preparing to see a shortage of Halloween candy leading up to Halloween. Well, even though that seems like that's horrible news or bad news, the good news is it's not actually that bad, because they say that right now regular candy and chocolate shouldn't run out. And the reason for this is because the company doesn't want to make Halloween specific candy instead of keeping their original candy. So really, you're going to get the exact same stuff. The only difference is for Halloween, you may have to hand out the regular Hershey bar instead of the ones with the ghosts and goblins on it. So a little bit of a good news there, I guess, right? Now, this is where the bad news comes in. I want to start this off with a little bit of good news, but here's the bad news. I want to bring up something that I started seeing in my area, and I actually reached out to many people, and they started to see this exact same thing. Once I mentioned this, you're going to start looking for it. I guarantee you're going to find it. Here's what's happening. In grocery stores, and I saw this personally in a Walmart, in a Target, and a Safeway. Okay, 3 different stores. All were selling grocery products. Now, what they're doing is they're putting larger products on the shelf. For instance, have you noticed the aisle of chips is getting a little bit bigger? There's more chips. There's less cookies and snacks and little things like that. Yeah, it's because chips are a bigger product. Have you noticed that things like soda, there's usually more? Or you look at the end caps of some of these different stores and some of the aisles, and it's just sodas, Coca-Cola products, Pepsi products, right? Do you notice that? Guess what? It's bigger, right? It fills up more space. Another one, they're doing this exact same thing with cereal. I bet you've noticed this. Instead of seeing just 2 little rows of Cinnamon Toast Crunch right side by side, you got 3 or 4 rows of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then you got right above it, you got Apple Jacks, and you got Lucky Charms and Cocoa Puffs, or anything like that, right? Because that's what we're seeing. Those take up more space. So instead of going 2 rows and going all the way back, like I think like 6 or 7 boxes, right, of cereal, what they're doing is they're only going back like 2 rows, but spreading it out wide because it takes up more space in the store. Let me know. I guarantee you will find this. Just go and look in your grocery store. And I asked many people if they've been seeing this as well, and they said they have. Here's another thing. And this to me is just false advertising almost. I went to my local Walmart, and normally they have just a big pallet and just lines of pallets of water in the beverage section, right? Usually on the bottom. I go in, I see, oh, they got a bunch of water. I don't know what people are talking about. Grab 1 case of water, put it in my cart. Grab another case of water, put it in my cart. Go to grab another case of water. Three cases. Guess what? It wasn't 3 rows deep. It was 2 rows deep. That's it. It was lined. The full face of the aisle was lined with water, and it was 2 rows deep. That was it. but it was sitting on a pallet. Looked like, oh, just a bunch of pallets of water. No. The stalkers at the store obviously pulled them all to the front. Now, and I get this. Stores do this all the time because it looks more appealing, is they pull all the products to the front. But I saw this one day, and another day, somebody else saw it, and I even went back again and saw the exact same thing. So it's not that they obviously don't have the water. They do. They're just not bringing it out. It's interesting. Curious why. Is there a shortage? I've addressed this before, and there was a shortage, but we aren't expecting to see a shortage of water right now. At least not in the grocery stores. So I thought this was very interesting. Here's something else. And this just blew my mind because it was somewhat smart on the grocery store, but if you are a resident in this area, this would just be, I'd be worried. I actually spoke with a few friends of mine just the other day from around the country. One of them lives down in Florida. Now, I asked him if stores are doing exactly what I've been seeing here in Washington State. He said yes and no. When he said no, I was like, well, what do you mean? What are you seeing? Well, here's what he told me. He said that he noticed a Walmart near him actually closed down 3 different aisles. Okay, three aisles, consecutive aisles. Okay, they closed them down and they put like a cover over it for like construction. Then they actually put up a sign saying that these aisles closed for a remodel. He thought that was interesting. In the middle of the store, you just close it for a remodel. Okay, wonder what they're putting there. I guess he asked. And the employee said nothing. That they just didn't have any items to put in that space. So they closed it down. They closed it. Are you serious? Walmart just decided to close down a few aisles and like barricade it. Put up some tarps or whatever so you can't see in. And they say it's due to construction or a remodel in the middle of their store. Yeah. Have you seen that? Now, after he told me this, I was like, you know what? I have seen something like that where they did that at a corner section of Walmart, and they pushed the kind of the electronic section, I believe it was electronics or sporting goods, a little bit closer, and everything just got scooted over. And it was interesting because that was probably a good maybe 50, 75 feet by 75 feet, a big chunk, pretty good sized chunk. They just moved everything over. Are they just trying to make the store smaller so it seems like it's actually full? Curious. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think this is almost like false advertising? Right? The good news that we're hearing that, stores are just stocked to the brim. There's so much inventory, there's so much goods. But yet you go and look and no. We're being tricked into thinking they're full when really it's all fake. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Now, I want to get to the bad news regarding Canada and the American people, because I've been getting multiple emails from people talking about the Canadian economy and how it's going to impact us in the United States. And I read them from time to time. Obviously, if you're watching my channel for more than just this video, you know that I talk about mainly stuff that's going to impact us here in the United States. I don't dive into a lot of the news out of Canada. And I started to read some of these. And here's what I found out. According to multiple emails, I didn't just get one. I went through probably, in the past few hours, I probably went through a good 20 to 30 emails, all detailing about Canada's problems. Here's one of them. I'm now hearing that U.S. workers who work for some parent companies in Canada are being told recently that they will be let go very soon. They're getting phone calls, they're getting emails letting them know that you're going to be let go. So they're U.S. workers, but they work for a Canadian company. Canada is having a lot of issues, and a lot of it's because the U.S. is technically in a recession, right? And even though the National Bureau of Economic Research or whatever, they have changed the definition of a recession, even though they've changed the definition, we are still technically in a recession. Canada is expected to be very close behind. If the US dips into a recession, Canada will dip into a recession as well. There's almost no way around it, according to experts. Now, what we are seeing is that Canada is going to dip into a recession because their rate hikes are going to pretty much trigger a deeper recession than what the United States is expected to dip into. So, it's because of these that companies are actually letting go of their employees, and a lot of them are starting with the US side. The Canadian companies are getting rid of their US workers first. And then, after that, after their restructuring, then they will go and lay off Canadian workers if they have to. But they don't want to do that. So they're going to lay off the US workers. Do you see why this is a problem? Not just for Canada, for the United States as well. This is horrible news. Because if US workers who work for Canadian companies are going to be let go because of what's happening in Canada and not what's happening in the US, that's troubling. That is extremely troubling. And especially when Canada is expected to raise rates faster than the United States. Yeah, that's very troubling. But that's what we're hearing right now. And again, this is why some of the good news that we're hearing here in the United States is almost fake news. Just false information. Yeah, it looks good until you actually dig a little bit deeper, figure out what's actually going on. And that's like, that's not good news. But that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.